So, welcome to Solitude 101. Um, Solitude's been part of my life pretty much my whole life. I'm an only child, and I have spent most of my life living by myself. Notice that I don't use the phrase living alone. There is a difference. And it has occurred to me that, especially for people who grew up with siblings, um, living by oneself is challenging. And also for people who live in a family household or a household with roommates, or if you're a caregiver, so you're not living by yourself, you're living in a home you share with other people. Um, the ideas of how to have solitude, become challenging, and also there is a social stigma about why are you spending time alone? So let me tell you why. One of many reasons why. This is the basic reason why. From a Chinese five elements perspective, that everybody needs to have some time alone by themselves. That doesn't mean they're isolated. That just means they have their solitude. Is because we are social creatures. But our ability to be social and our ability to relate to ourselves in the quietude that solitude gives us, both of those help create a balanced way of being in the world. So, the first thing that you need for solitude is to have your own space. Now, obviously, because I live by myself, I actually have a number of spaces I can use as my own space. And some of them I share, and some of them, they're multi-purpose, but I have spaces where I can go and just chill. That's part of solitude. It's just having that time to chill. And I do it every day. Now, what I do during that time might be listening to music, which is what's going on right now. It might be reading. Now, I wouldn't call my writing solitude because the characters in my head are in the room with me, but it is a solitary endeavor. Um, Sitting in my garden, I may be interrupted by either a passing neighbor or birds or squirrels, but when I'm sitting in my garden, that's basically part of my solitude. And I find that having solitude every day, where there is unstructured time, meaning there's not a task at hand that has to be completed, that I can sit and relax and just let thoughts come and go as they are wont to do anyway. So why not give them a space to do it on a regular basis? Um, that gives me the energy to return to the tasks that I need to do or I want to do, or both, with a greater ability to engage and be present in the moment and not be distracted. And I think that's one thing that is great benefit of solitude, but also I think might put people off because we live in a culture where we're taught to multitask and we are taught to basically allow anything to distract us at any time whatsoever. So, for example, I'm using my lovely laptop, Hugh. Hi, Hugh. Yes, he has a name. And I name all of my technological wizards who help me do my life out of respect for them. I have notifications off. I never have them on. I know later this evening I'll need to go check my email. I do that on my time. I make time to do that. I also make time to sit. And yes, it sounds lazy, but it's not. To sit, listen to some music, look out the window, watch the grass grow, and not have a task at hand that needs to be completed right now. For those of you who suddenly find that you're spending more time by yourselves than you planned on, I would encourage you to start to think about the fact that you have at your disposal on a daily basis the time, and if you live by yourself as I do, you also have the space to create an atmosphere where you can have a moment of solitude. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, where you are not being pressed either from within or from without to do anything. And you can just sit and relax. If you are a person who feels stressed out about what you need to do, a moment of solitude is a great time to take pad and paper and make a list of what you need to do that day. Now, I'll do a whole other thing about what you really need to do in a day, because a lot of people try to do more than really needs to be done, and they wear themselves out doing it. Um, if you wear yourself out, how are you going to build yourself back up? And so this is one of the important things about solitude. This is the time in any day where you can spend time uninterrupted. So that means if you're in a shared household, coming to an understanding that everybody in the household, not just you, everybody really, um, needs to feel free to say, I need to have some time for myself. This is not an antisocial request. We all benefit from having solitude. So even if, let's say, you are in a couple relationship and you share your room, you don't have separate rooms, make an agreement that I need 10 minutes to myself or 30 minutes to myself to unwind, which is basically what it is. And you can close the door, and it's not because you don't like the other person you're in the house with, it's because you want your uninterrupted time. It's a small request, but it's one that I think a lot of people find daunting. Everybody needs that time, and it is time well spent, even though it seems to have absolutely no productivity that comes out of it. Guess what? You are producing something. You are producing. Doesn't matter to anybody else directly, but it certainly matters to you, and it will affect other people indirectly. You are producing with every time you have your place in time of solitude, your own peace of mind, to the ability that you can retrieve that on any given day. And especially as most of us are, you're living in stressful times, rebuilding yourself through some moments of solitude on a regular basis is a small thing. Find yourself a comfortable chair, a comfortable place to sit, listen to some music if you want to or not, read a book that just lets you wander or not. Just sit and look out the window, watch the grass grow and the birds fly by. It's all good. What comes out of that moment of solitude when you go back and re engage with the tasks you need to accomplish, or interact with the people you share your home with, you will have more energy and you'll be more relaxed than if you feel like you have no time to yourself. I can tell you, as an only child, that is one of the great blessings of being an only child, is understanding from a very young age that my own time was a great and magical thing to have. And from that, I gained a lot of freedom, a lot of time, and it's one of the many reasons why I am, among other things, a writer today, is because I was a reader first, because I had the time in solitude. And one of the ways I spent that was with a book. Now, you may not have wanted to have all this time in solitude that you might have now. It's very different than a lifestyle that has that already built in. So I'm just going to encourage you, go ahead and schedule your day with things that will keep you busy, things that you need to do, things that you want to accomplish, but set aside some time for yourself, not in interaction with any other person. If that means you turn your phone off and you turn off your notifications, so be it. You can always check all those things when you decide to go back to the rest of your day. These moments are as important as eating your meal, brushing your teeth, getting outside and getting some daylight. And a moment of solitude, what's nice about it is, unlike the eating, which might entail cooking and cleaning up, those are tasks, brushing your teeth, which is a task, a moment of solitude is unstructured time, and there is no goal to be achieved in this time. We live in a culture that tells us everything you do has to have a goal attached in terms of productivity. Guess what? We are human beings and we are social creatures. And in order to be as human as we can be and be as social as we can be, we also need the time to sit back, unplug, breathe, and be by ourselves in a space that's comfortable, that we find pleasing. It can be your own room or it can be a corner of a room. This is a corner of my treatment room. My treatment room is in my house. So this is basically part of my office. But this is also space where I can sit and listen to music if I want to and not be disturbed by anybody. Make a space for yourself. Encourage the people you live with to do the same thing and respect your respective spaces and allow each other moments of solitude as part of your daily life. I really believe that you'll find, if you do that, even for a week, and it doesn't have to be at the same time every day, but just make it part of, it's going to be something you do every day, that you will find that when you are with other people or when you go back to tasks you need to do, you are refreshed, you are more attentive, and you are more present. And when you're more present, you are really going to know that whatever you then did, whatever task you completed, you actually did it because you were in the moment. And solitude is a great way to learn to get in the moment, not only a moment where you're not doing anything with anyone, but also carrying that over into the moments where you are doing something whether it's a task or whether it's interacting with another person. So find your space, find your time, negotiate it with housemates if you've got housemates, or family members if you're living in a family environment. And I think you will all find that having that time is actually something more beneficial that maybe you didn't realize you had at your disposal. Now that you have the time to build that into your life, build it into your life. And when you see the benefits, I think you're going to find that you want to keep it in your life when your life returns to as busy as it used to be or becomes another form of busy. You'll realize that you need the solitude as well in order to do what you want to accomplish. So find your space, sit down, enjoy it, and encourage everyone you know to do the same thing. Have a good evening. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.